Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award winning recovery podcast, Get in the Herd, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. Today, I am your host, Nathan Mitchell. I always forget to introduce myself. But today we have a special guest, a friend of mine. I was telling a story about you earlier today because I was excited to have you on the show, and I think you'll know the story.
Oh yeah.
But we have with us today Jamie A. Jamie A. is a person in long term recovery. Joining us today, and I know that you work in this industry as well. I'm really eager to talk to you. I know it's been a week, so I want to talk about overcoming obstacles, reaching out, and a lot of different things. But first of all, welcome to the show. What brings you here today?
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me. Just came through to carry the message, man. That no matter how or where we've been in life, that never has to determine where we're going. We're prime examples of that, and just to carry a nice, good, strong message of recovery, man. You know, that's pretty much what I came through for. They said early when I came in that you carry the message or either be the message. So
Ooh,
try to carry the message as much as I can, man.
I like that.
You know.
You probably don't know this, Jamie, but our podcast here, and if you're listening, you probably already know this.
Mhm.
Our biggest audience who watch and or listen to the show are actually people who are currently incarcerated.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, and
Oh,
and
wow.
I think about what that could have meant for me, what that means to other people. We had a person here recently who saw us in Utah.
Oh, wow.
I know. I had no idea we had that reach. And
Mm,
she came and joined. She just left a couple days ago, went back, and I've actually texted her a couple times since. But, she saw not the podcast, but she saw some of our other media, on the on her tablet in jail. So pretty wild thing to think about,
oh,
to
yeah.
really be able to get that message out. You and I have known each other. I've known you since really shortly after
Yeah.
I got here.
For the beginning.
And
Mm,
we fellowship. I know you fellowship at a couple different things, but we tended to meet up in a certain fellowship, and I remember this was the story I was telling earlier, and I know you're gonna, yeah, I know you know this story, and I love this because it always it sticks with me.
mm,
For those of you, I was coming up on 4 months in recovery, so we're talking a little while ago. And at the time, the meetings we went to, it was every month, you get a chip,
yeah.
and we were coming up on 4 months, and I said, working on it,
Hmm.
when they called out the 4 month chip. And do you remember what you said?
Yeah. Don't quit your day job.
Don't quit your day. And why did you say that?
Yeah, because that's what recovery is, man. It's constant work, it's consistency. Freedom ain't free. We have to work, for recovery. And they told us, like I said, we chase the recovery like we chase, our means of getting one more, our means of getting the next drink or drug. So, that's what I said, just keep working, man. That's actually I said don't quit your day job or your night job. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Fair enough.
you
Fair
know,
enough. Yeah.
um, recovery is at the end of the day we only have one day. We only have one day. Tomorrow's not promised to nobody. Yesterday's history. We have one day to feed our recovery, one day to feed our spirit. They told me don't feed my recovery, don't feed my disease. So I just wake up every day with the willingness to feed my recovery just for
Yeah.
the day, man. You know.
Well, do you want to? I've heard you tell a lot of pieces of your story over the years,
Mm.
and there's a couple things that come to my mind. But if in brief, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what what happened? What was it like?
Mhm.
What happened, and what is it like now?
Oh,
Put
well,
you on the spot here.
well, small sense, man. I grew up, to a nice, well, middle class family. I'm the only boy. My parents had me at a more I would say more older age than normal parents. I didn't have the dad throwing footballs with me and stuff like that. My parents had me like in their late 40s. So by that time,
I'm coming up on 46,
yeah,
Jamie. I'm
no,
not.
yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm in my 40s now too. So,
Damn.
so I get it. But they had me about that time, and they just wasn't like pretty much active. They worked all day. I had two sisters that were like really popular in school, and my house was like the hangout spot. It was like the hangout spot for the kids. Kids to come over. My mom was pretty much like the neighborhood parent to everybody, and that drew a lot of kids to our house, especially when she wasn't there. Not only that, but just like the wrong type of people as well. So in the process of that, man, I didn't have a brother. I seeked validation. I seeked acceptance from other people. And that's the really the reason that started to fuel my addiction. I just wanted to be accepted. I just wanted to be loved. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't feel just good enough. I didn't feel worthy enough. And I wanted to do what the other people were doing. My parents had told me, they still, it's crazy how they instill in us those things when we were small, and they start to make sense now that we're older. My parents told me not to go around those people in the corner, and what I did, go around those people in the corner.
Yeah.
And it was just for a sense of acceptance, man, a sense to be liked by everybody. I was one of those people that will make you happy at the expense that it takes my happiness from me. And that's why, I did things. I wore masks. I pretended to be people who I wanted, think that they wanted me to be, just so I can get what I want. And those fueled my addiction. I also had a talent for music. I was a rap artist as well, so I did a lot of music. Which also in my mind that created like a pretty a pretty painting for for my music as I was using. And I got in clubs and things like that at an early age, 14 years old, getting in clubs that was 21, and we was allowed to drink and do those things of that nature. Also fueled my addiction. And you know I still kept coming around those same people, places, and things, man. Still wanted to be liked, still wanted to be loved. I looked at it as a sense of loyalty, but it's a line between loyalty and being enslaved to somebody. And I feel that I was enslaved to a lot of people. It wasn't a sense of loyalty. Like I said, I would do anything for them, but in some of those cases, I was miserable most of the time. I was just doing it just to be liked. So, I did my music for a long time. At the end of my road, my mom had left me a house. She left me a house at the age of 21, which most responsible kids will took the house and just did the right thing. I ended up taking the house, and I ended up becoming a street pharmacist. And eventually got that house kicked in, which led me to jail. And I would think that would stop me. Like I said, my whole life was just fueled. Everything that I said I wasn't going to do, I eventually ended up doing. You know, and I got I got arrested. I was also incarcerated. I came home, and I didn't realize at the time, because my high power was always doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I couldn't see it then. But I got arrested. They kicked in my house. They never found nothing, because either I just did it all, or either I was waiting to get more. So, they arrested me. Yeah, yeah. They arrested me. Came home, lived with my sister for a little while, and ended up doing the same thing at her house, man. And eventually I got her house kicked in. You know, um, and then got arrested again. Same thing. Kicked in the house, never found nothing. Just either did it all myself or waiting to get more. Again, got home, did the same thing again, got our house kicked in a third time. And this was like three times in like less than maybe a year and a half, which that last time I was in that place, and there was my cellmate of mine that told me about the healing place at that moment. And when like I said, I looked at it as a get out of jail free card. I didn't come in with a desire, to really to stop using or drinking. I just wanted to get out of jail or get out of jail free card. But what happened was I went to that program, and I stayed in that program, and I stayed there long enough to heal some hope. Somebody came in and told my story. Somebody came in and gave me a message of recovery. And the program eventually started working on me without my permission. I went from the person that, they wanted to just not go to jail, to me actually wanting to be there. I started to identify in. I stopped identifying out. And I stayed in that process. For maybe a year and a half. I got a sponsor. I started working steps. I, was going to meetings regularly. And at the end of that program, it was this thing called commencement, which, most people would think that's graduation.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
gotta remember, we're alcoholics and addicts, and there's no graduation to it. We don't get no
Yeah.
cap and gown. And that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
I heard. Like I got my cap and gown. I can just go on and live my life, and
I'm
everything was good.
recovered.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I used to be, but now I'm not.
Uh,
The whole Malibu syndrome. But um, you know, that's what I did, man. I thought I used to be, but now I'm not, and I can just go and live my life, man. And I did that, man. And then I remember the day that I relapsed. It wasn't a bad day. It wasn't nothing like really serious that happened. It was a good day. And when we stop doing the things necessary for our recovery, we always go back to the things that brought us in recovery. So I learned from that relapse what didn't work. And what didn't work was me not doing the things I was doing to maintain and keep my recovery. Like I said, it wasn't a bad day. I had that bright idea that I can just take one. Knowing I never really took one of nothing. I never had one of nothing because I always, use obsessively, and the compulsion, and you know uh other fellowships, phenomenon, and craving, all that stuff creeps in, man. I just Once I put one in me, I just don't stop. So my mind told me I could take one, and then before I know it, it always got worse. Like I said, it took me maybe a year and a half to get back here, man, because it's nothing like knowing it's a better way to live and using. When I was using an active addiction the first time, I didn't know no other way. I wasn't aware of recovery. I wasn't listening to podcasts like this, or coming to places like this. I didn't know it was people that were actually staying clean and sober. You know. So I always, but like when I get recovery, when I come in, when I, embark on a journey of recovery, and get a hold of the fellowship, and see people actually doing it, and like knowing it's a better way to live and choosing to suffer is a whole different ball game. So like um that's where I was at, man. Like I wanted to get back clean. I wanted to stay sober, but my thinking told me that people were gonna be judging me. People were gonna be, laughing at me if I came back, and all these other things. And I stayed out there for a year and a half. And I remember on being on social media, posting spiritual quotes like I was still sober because I ain't want nobody to know, and just wearing a mask, lying to myself, man, in the sense of denial, which means don't even know I'm lying to myself.
Don't even know
I'm
I'm lying.
lying. Yep. Yeah.
Ah, shoot,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I was in denial, man. Like I said, I thought that I was fooling other people, but I wasn't doing nothing but fooling myself. So I had a friend in recovery that came pick me up for a meeting. He just knocked on my door out the blue, like boom, boom, boom. And I opened the door, like, what are you doing here? And he took me to a meeting, man. And I remember being in there under the influence, and I remember them asking, "Is anybody celebrating?" My thinking, my mind, told me that they know my clean date. I need to get up now and get a chip or a key tag. And I remember getting up and picking up a 3-year key tag, straight, you know, really high and drunk out my mind. And I remember the feeling of how I felt when people was coming up to give me the hugs and stuff like that. And they told me, "Man, just keep coming back." Like I said, in my mind, I'm fooling them, but they already know. They know. They just told me to keep coming back, man. And because the thing about it is when the seed is planted, it's planted, and the seed was already planted, man. I just had to go through a lot of more pain in order for it to grow. And I went through that. I stayed out for, like I said, a year and a half. And when the pain became great enough, I remember my last day drinking and using. They told me if you don't remember your last day drinking and using, then you might not be finished yet. And I keep the pain of that up front, man. I keep the pain of that up front. I remember I was walking around alive but feeling dead inside. I remember, the incomprehensive demoralization my soul was feeling. I remember, not even wanting to live. I remember those days, man. Like thinking that like I will never get clean. And I had stolen my sister's car because I did a geographical change. Thinking that I can move away, always taking myself with me. And I stolen her car. I parked the car right back into the driveway, all nice and neat. And I thought that I got away, but they told us early, we get back, we don't get away. Um, I got in that process, man, and parked the car nice and neat, went to sleep, thought I had it, and my sister busted in the door the next morning. She said, I'm gonna give you two options: either go back to that treatment center or you're gonna die. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. I was the pain was that great at that point. I just need some reassurance, or like a higher power. Like, it was one of those God moments where my higher power was talking to me that same night. But when I stole her car, I had knocked some pictures over, and it was all the pictures of from me in recovery the first time. And I remember them spreading over the ground. I'm picking them up, crying, like I said, knowing it's a better way to live. And just like my disease told me, we had to go get one more. So when she told me that, I was relieved. And I made the decision on June 6, 2015, to go back in the healing place. I told myself I'm gonna stay 3 days. That's it. I'm just detox. That's it. And then day one, day two came through, day three, and I just kept telling myself every day, today I'm gonna stay, tomorrow I'm gonna leave. And then tomorrow come and be like, today I'm gonna stay, tomorrow I'm gonna leave. And next thing I know, I was saying that for about 20 some days, and I stopped saying it because, like, I really wanted it. And I made a decision right then. I was gonna get in the middle of recovery and stop being around recovery. It's a difference. It's a difference between being in the middle of recovery and being around recovery. Around recovery, I could just go into meetings, I could sit in the back, twirl my phone, not really paying attention. And those people can get it too as well. But like, they told me, the people that sit up the front, the people that get a sponsor, the people that work the steps, the people that get a home group, that get a service position, that start praying to a higher power, even if they don't know what it is. My first prayers was just, whatever you are, keep me clean. And then at the end of the night, thank you for keeping me clean and sober. Those were my first, two prayers, that I had in recovery. Because when I came in, I had a resentment against God. Because I thought everything good in my life I did, and everything bad in my life, it was my high power fault. And I kept praying, man. And I started doing the action. They told me it was a spiritual program of action, and I started doing the actions. And what happened was, like I said, my thinking started to change. um and most importantly, man, like, I got in the service. I started helping other people. I finished the 12 steps with a sponsor. I started sponsoring a lot of people. I didn't realize how powerful service was. um and to this time around in my recovery, quick little story real quick. I came into healing place, and I was obsessing over a girl at the time, over my baby mother at the time. And I remember my sponsor coming to get me, and he said, look, I'm coming to get you. And he came and got me. He said, he took me to Chesterfield Mall. He said, I want you to hold the door for every person that come through that door. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, hold the door for every person to come through the door. And it's like 20 degrees outside. I was like, what am I, a butler or something? Like, what is going on here? Like, it was a method to what he was doing, like some Mr. Miyagi magic or something. Like, I didn't realize what he was doing at the time. And I remember getting up there holding that door, man, and people was coming in. And what happened was, people were starting to thank me. People were saying I was generous. People were saying I was kind. It was old elderly people with walkers and stuff coming through that door. And when I got back in that car, as cold as I was, he said, how you feel? I said, I feel good. He said, you didn't think about her one time. I was like, nope. He said, you didn't think about using or drinking one time. I was like, nope. He said, now you see how the power of helping other people helps you, you know, because as I'm helping, the core of my disease is selfishness. So when I'm helping other people, I'm not caught up in my own stuff, and not only that, I don't just do it to help myself. I do it because I actually believe in people and want to see them succeed as well. Because somebody did it for me. Somebody came and gave me a message. Somebody, came to the jails and institutions and gave me a message of recovery when I was in there. Where would I be if those people denied me a message of recovery? So, that's why, I still do the same thing, man. The difference between last time and this time is I just stay consistent, man. I stay consistent. I really stay in the day when it comes to my recovery. I don't focus on a year from now. I don't focus on 2 years from now. Every day I just wake up with a mission to feed my recovery daily. And they say the shower you took yesterday ain't gonna keep you clean today. That food you ate yesterday ain't gonna fill your stomach today. So every day I just wake up with the same type of mentality that I got to feed my spirit and I got to feed my recovery daily. And how that looks sometimes is just going to meetings. How it looks sometimes just talking to a newcomer. So how it looks sometimes is just doing some step work with a sponsee or doing my own step work because we don't arrive. You know what I'm saying? We don't arrive. We we get better. You know what I'm saying? We're not. Like I said, we don't graduate from this thing. I'm I could use a drink just like anybody else, man. But I know my best defense, my best medication against this disease is a program of recovery, a pathway to recovery, whatever fellowship that is. And we met it in a certain fellowship. And like they told me to get in the middle of recovery, and that's what I did. I got in the middle of recovery. I'm talking about all fellowships, anything 12 step, I got right in the middle of that junk and was like, I want to know more. I want to soak it up like a sponge. I want to apply those principles that we learn in those programs to my life. And I do that to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect by a long shot. I still make mistakes. I still need people to hold me accountable. The people that calls me out on my stuff. I don't have no Willy Wonkas or people around me, people that sugarcoat my stuff. They tell me what I need to hear and what I want to hear all the time.
Yeah, we could do that a hashtag. Hashtag no Willy Wonkas.
Yeah. Yeah, no Willy
I
Wonkas,
like
man.
that.
Yeah. So and today, man, like life is good, man. I still go through struggles. I still, go through things, man. But like I'm blessed, man. I'm so grateful because regardless of whatever I go through, I don't have to drink or use behind it. Since I've been clean and sober, I've had bad breakup relationships. I've lost my mom. Last year, 2020, I lost my mom to cancer, and I buried her June 6th, 2020.
Oh wow.
My clean date is June 6th, 2015. So I literally left her funeral and went and celebrated 5 years up here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Up, at this very spot. So that tells me right there, if I can get through that and stay clean and sober, it's nothing else that I can endure that I can't, get to the other side and don't have to drink or use over it. Because like my mom was my world. She was the one that always supported me, whether I was doing good or bad. You know what I'm saying? She was my rock. And how I honor her, how I make amends to her for all the things that I had done is continue to be the best person that she wanted me to be, the person my higher power wants me to be. And I try to do it to the best of my ability, man. And not just that, for all the people that we have lost to the disease, we lost a lot of people. It's people who I love, people who I've set by. I was just sharing, like I lost a sponsee a couple of days ago, man, and that been rough for me. It been a lot of pain, a lot of what if only, but the one thing this program has gave me the ability to do is realize that I'm powerless, and also trust my higher powers plan regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how I feel, because everything has its purpose. Everything has its purpose. All the pain that I've been through, I thought it was just meaningless, but now I see that same pain and all those things I went through, I can share it with somebody else and I can help them get over it, as long as I don't drink or use behind it. You know, and even the things that I have messed up on, like I said, sometimes learning what not to do, have helped me, because I don't know the next right thing to do all the time, but I know the next wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I've been a master at that, at doing the next wrong thing. So I can give that experience with somebody else. And hopefully they can learn from it and don't have to touch the stove themselves, man. Even though some of us like to lick our fingers and still touch that stove. But
I
you
like to,
know.
I like to put my hand over the burner and just sort of like just just feel that heat.
Oh
Like no,
yeah.
I'm there, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
That's sometimes where I find myself, and that's not a comfortable place.
Oh no.
Not
Oh
a
no.
comfortable place either. Let me get out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
I got TV on in there.
Hmm.
I can take a walk.
Hmm.
Um, but
Hmm.
you brought up your sponsee and not to get too. I mean, you were going to come on the show. We planned this weeks ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's a coincidence, a sad coincidence. But how do we? How do you? You know, how do you work through? I mean, because you lost your mother, you've lost in sponsees, and I know we've lost friends. And
Hmm.
how do you work through that and still maintain? Because, and this is why I ask you this,
Hmm.
because you talk about your mother being a rock to you. I know you, and I know you are that rock for a lot of other people.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
you're a rock to me. You know, I can't think of being in recovery without thinking of you being around. I think of recovery in my, you know, when I first got to Richmond, I think of Jamie everywhere,
Hmm.
and it's this, and Jamie is the same Jamie. Not, I mean, I know
Yeah.
you're human, and I get that. I'm
Yeah.
not mythologizing or putting you on a pedestal, but like Jamie is Jamie,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
I don't see, oh, that guy, you know, or oh, well, he was good today, but he was crazy yesterday. No, I'm like, Jamie is Jamie,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love that about you.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank
but how do you maintain that?
you.
Because I'm Nathan, and
Yeah.
Nathan is and Nathan is you know.
Yeah. I mean, most importantly, man, for me, man, is I've learned, like I said, I learned to not pick up other things besides the drinking. And, because I could pick up other things and it can make my life unmanageable. Um, you know,
Shoes.
yeah, definitely, definitely,
I
definitely, definitely.
love
That's
those shoes, by the
woo,
way.
come on now.
I know, I know.
Uh,
I didn't. I'm sorry, that was a low blow.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm working on it. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, I've been fortunate to go through some things, but what really helps with me, man, is keeping a circle around me. It's not a doubt in my mind that those things, those obstacles, those roadblocks, those things that I've been through, I wouldn't been able to go through them if I didn't have the we of a program. The power of the people behind me, man. Like I don't go do nothing alone. When I lost my mom, it was people calling me every day. It was people popping up, people probably diving through my window. I mean, it was all over the place. And when I went to the funeral, the first three rows was people in recovery.
Oh
you
wow.
know
Yeah.
and it wasn't because they knew her, it's because they was there for me.
Wow.
you know and that showed me the power of we together will always get through what I can't do alone. Situation with my sponsee, man. I've been reaching out to a lot of people. I've been talking about it, because it ain't the things that we say that keeps us sick, it's the things we don't say.
Yeah.
Those are the things that will manifest and lead back to drinking and using. So those are the things that I always got to realize, man. And I just continue to keep sharing it, man. Pain shared is pain lesson.
Ah.
So
That's a good pause right now.
okay.
I'm being told by our producer to take a moment so
Okay.
we can do a little commercial break here. Jamie, we'll be back in a I don't know, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever it is. Back with Jamie A. So glad
Yeah,
you're here.
man. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.
any place. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon.
Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome back. I'm your host, Nathan Mitchell, and today our special guest is Jamie A. And Jamie, you've talked about, you've told your story beautifully. You've talked a lot about things that you use now in your recovery to maintain your recovery. What I'd like to talk about, if you don't mind, is like, what do you do, for your profession? What is your professional work that you do these days?
Well, right now I'm a patient monitor for a med clinic. Which also gives me the ability to do groups.
When you
And
say MAT clinic, medically assisted treatment clinic.
yes,
Okay, just
yes,
want to clarify for
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it gives me the ability to do groups and stuff like that, man. And for the fact that I do a lot of people that's able to come there knows that I do recovery. Sometimes I like like we might be the only example of hope that somebody might see. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
only example of recovery somebody might see. So those people that get to come in, man, I get to sometimes do groups with them and sit down with them and be able to be the example of hope for them, to utilize that form of recovery until they're able to get stable enough or sufficient enough. Because like I said, I believe in all pathways of recovery. Whatever you have to use, that's fine. But like I know what works for me works for me. And I just try to be an example of hope, man, to push people in a right direction, man. And they told me when I got here, man, direction is better than speed. There's a lot of people going nowhere fast, so I just try to focus on pushing people in a positive direction. So that's the goal, man. I'm also do a lot of things outside. I wouldn't call it profession, but I do a lot of things outside of just that. I take meetings in different places. I go speak in groups and other facilities and other RCOs and things like that. So I just try to stay active in my recovery and try to spread the message of recovery to whoever will listen, man. Like I said, it's uh, from when I came in to now, a lot has changed. The thing about change is things are always evolving. When I came in, there was a lot of old timers, a lot of people that, told us that we didn't know nothing and we need to sit down and if we don't know, they ask us and all that stuff, man. But now, man, like it's it's incredible to see where recovery is going to, like it's people coming in young with multiple years and they're able to be the example for those newcomers and those people that's coming in young, and it's just amazing, man, where recovery is gone since I first came in 2012. um and I just try to be the example of hope, man. Just like I said, just continue to keep pushing, and like I said, I need them just as well as they need me. You know what I'm saying? It's always a two-way streak. I can't do without them. Without them, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I'm saying? I need people to come in to let me know that look, it ain't getting no better out there, and I need a better way. You know what I'm saying? I also need the people before me to tell me, look, you can recover. Regardless of whatever you go through, you can get through this on the other side, because I have a built-in forgetter sometimes. I can easily slip back. And I've seen a lot of people do this. I've seen people come in, get some recovery, get a tad bit, get the job, the house, the wife, their life get
The
good, the
girlfriend as well as
girlfriend,
the wife.
girlfriend, or the husband to the ladies, or they get some things back, and what happens is their recovery takes the back burner. Now they don't want to go to as many meetings. Now their willingness to stay clean and sober is not as much as it was when they didn't have nothing, and I've seen a lot of people fall a victim to that. So, regardless of whatever, they told me at the beginning that me staying clean and sober must come first. It must come first. Those things have to come first, so everything else I love in life don't come last. Because if I drink, if I use, then I won't be the father to my daughter that I want to be. I won't show up for the job on time, because I probably be too hangover or too sick, I will, the car, I probably end up pawning that, or somebody will probably end up driving that around town. Like, eating the shoes. Oh man, you know how I feel about
The
my
shoes and
shoes.
the lids.
The
Yeah.
shoes will be gone. The Jordans will be a liquidation sale on every last one of them.
What
So,
size do you wear?
10 and a half.
All right.
So all that stuff would be gone, man. So like, to maintain the things I have, I always say this all the time. I never had a problem really getting stuff, because we're alcoholics and addicts. We could wake up with no money and end up with some at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? I had a problem keeping things.
Yeah.
I had a problem keeping. Recovery gives me the ability to keep a relationship with my daughter. It gives me the ability to keep, a bank account and bills and all these things, and be able to, like it keeps me to be a responsible, productive member of society. And that's what recovery has given me. Not only the ability to not use or drink, but the ability to go through life on life terms and not use or drink. And that was a problem in itself. I did not know how to live life without drinking and using. So yeah.
You mentioned having a daughter. How old is she?
I have two daughters.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah,
two daughters.
Two adorable daughters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two daughters. I have one that's 12 and I have one that's 8. Oh
Okay.
man. And they are daddy's girls, man. They definitely they love their daddy. I always was. They moved to California about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago now. They live in San Diego now, but I always was a parent that was there physically, just wasn't there, and I wasn't present in their lives to the point where I really was there. I wasn't really present. I was just there. And I remember an active addiction, man. It was things I couldn't even do if I didn't have what I needed to even play with them. But they do remember, like, my kids. Because I remember thinking that money or solve it, I can go out and just buy them this and that and all that. My kids, they wanted time more than anything. They wanted time. They wanted me to be present. They wanted me to show through actions that I love them. And the program taught me that love is an action word. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I told them I was loving them. I was the person crawling on the floor, stealing money out their piggy bank. I was the person, I'm able to be able to show them that I love them today. And just be a presence in their lives, man. And I talk to my daughter nearly every day on FaceTime. She comes to me about things. Oh my God, she just went through her first menstrual cycle. Help me, please. Um, it's some fears going on. Some fears going on. But I'm trusting the plan. My youngest, man, she's amazing. She's an amazing little girl, man. She just wanna do all the dances and all that stuff, man. So it's incredible to watch them grow, man. I try to be there for them as best as I can, to be present in their lives. I haven't been to California in a minute, but I just had them over in the summertime. So yeah. So yeah.
What are they into? What do they like?
My oldest is she's a diva. That's what she likes to call herself, a diva. She's all in. I mean, she got me as her dad, but she's all into fashion and all that stuff. But it's mostly because of my sister. My sister, uh, you know, put some things in her. Now she wants Michael. Like, how you even know what Michael Kors is at 12 years old? It baffles me. She wants things like that. But she also has her own little style, man. And she's into surfing. She loves surfing. She's in California. And that's probably one of the reasons why she don't want to come back. She enjoying the surfing team. So, she loves surfing. She takes pictures and show me pictures of her surfing and stuff like that. It's a lot of things over that coast that we don't really have too much over, on this side. But she enjoys the weather. She's just a very active little lady, man. That's what she's becoming, a little lady. And my youngest, oh man, whew, um, very smart for a really young age. And I think all girls is like that, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, putting words together, they ain't even know. I know she don't know how to spell, but she knows how to use it in the right sense. So it's incredible, man. To have both of them and to be able to be there for them, as clean, be there sober and enjoy the times that I have with them. The last trip I took with my mom was going over there to San Diego and taking them to Disney World, and we went to Hollywood, and we went to Sea World and all that. We just made a whole adventure of it for a whole 2 weeks. So, it was things like that, man, that I really tried.
With your mom, you said?
Yeah, with my mom.
Yeah,
That was the last
nice.
trip she took. We took that, and then 2 months later she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was 2020. So, it's I'm just grateful for all those moments and memories and things like that that I have with mom, but most importantly, the people we have lost to the disease, man, because like it's people that we have lost that have been an impact in my life as well. That inspired me to continue to keep going. Some of them people was here when I got back here. That's not here no more. And they also instilled in me some things, man. So I learned from people, man. They told me just keep my eyes open, and I can learn either what to do or learn what not to do.
Yeah.
But long as I'm learning, that's the point. When I stop learning, I stop growing.
Something that comes up a lot when I talk to new people in recovery,
Mhm.
and something I struggle with, well, something I struggled with. I'm pretty full these days, but what is fun in recovery? What is fun without the drugs and alcohol? How the heck can I have fun? How can here's something crazy. This is something I'm going to tell y'all something I did.
I know I sleep a lot.
Well, yeah, because I'm not doing uppers anymore, right?
Exactly.
I know. And I play with my nieces and nephews
and eating.
Eating.
That's
I
good.
do that too. Swimming. I did something unusual. I'm Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll have 4 years in a couple weeks, but we got to get there. We got to get there.
Okay.
But in a couple days, and I'm replaying a little bit of the tape from 4 years ago. It's not as profound as it was when I was coming up on 1 year. When I was coming up on 1 year, I was screaming in the passenger side of my sponsor's car, going, "What's the point of all this? I know how to level this shit out, and I'm not liking what's going on."
Yeah.
And now I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm like, my life is kind of going along, and I've got some goals, and I'm working a day at a time, and I'm fighting my ego because the ego comes out all the time. I lost my point. Oh, so I did something unusual for me. This is gonna sound really weird, but I'm one of these people. Like I went on my first real date on Sunday. The first real date, and I don't even know how long, because certainly in my using days at the very end, those weren't dates,
Cool.
and I've some of that behavior lingered and continues to linger into my non-using days. Some of that using behavior as far as using people. But this was a legit one-on-one, let's have coffee. I didn't even physically or mentally prepare myself for, what it was a date.
Yeah.
And it was weird.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, how do we do that kind of stuff in recovery?
Yeah. What did you do?
Well,
I'm asking that from like I haven't dated.
I know, right?
In years, and like I obviously like my relationship is established, and we go out on date nights and we have fun and all that stuff. But like, I can't imagine like trying to like, hi person, this is a thing. I like trains. Like, I'm going to leave now. Goodbye.
And it's funny, if you know me, I don't stop talking.
Yeah.
And yet here I am on a date, and I just can't talk. I'm like, my eyes are shifting. I'm looking at the barista, because we're at Starbucks, typical date, and I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to work my feet, and of course I'm like, I'm too fat. I'm not interesting. I'm too short. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too poor. I've got a car. And you don't have, well, he does have a car, but it's like, I just, all the things. And I'm like, this is exhausting.
Oh yeah.
And I did prepare myself, because I called my sponsor beforehand and I told her what was up, and she knows, because, I've talked to her about relationships and whatnot. And just as he comes in, and I'm at the table, and he goes and gets his drink, and I text her right away, because I hadn't met him in person. I met him online, and I'm like, too old. Like, that was my first thing I said. I was like, oh man, did I just jinx myself?
You didn't even give him a chance.
No,
you were immediate too old.
Not at all. And I'm like, and I don't know what that means and all the relate blah blah blah, but it's like I'm still learning how to be a person in recovery and do normal things and to handle the emotions, the fears, the insecurities, the low self-esteem.
Come on now.
And oh my gosh. But you're right, like it's like having the team. The team. And my team is, I got my sponsor, I got Justin for a lot of things, but Justin, I talked to Justin and Justin's like, Justin will co-sign me sometimes. So I gotta be careful. No, I say that with love. But how the hell? When do we stop growing and just become recovered?
Oh, I wish it was that simple. You find out a way, you let me know.
I'll write a book. We'll make $1 billion.
Oh yeah. I wish it was a magical formula, but it's not that way, man. When it comes to fun and recovery, man, like it's like, because I learned that, like, for me, when I came into the rooms of recovery and all those things like that, I lost all like social skills. All like I didn't know what to, like he said. I would walk up, say my name, and walk off because I ain't know what else to say. I ain't know how to carry on a conversation. You're like, what else do I say after this? And I walk off. But I've learned though, the whole thing about it, even with the steps and all these things, practice. That key word, practice. So like I went. I went to like my first it's like a chili bowl festival or something like that, like early in recovery, and I was like, I'm gonna hate this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hate this. Like I'm not a chili bowl guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat no chili bowl. And I remember going there and having the most fabulous time of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like laughing, joking with people in recovery. Being full of chili. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff, and I was like, wow. Like, when they told us to do something different, man, like it's so much things that I didn't even know I liked it until I tried them, So like after that, I was like, well, let me try this watermelon festival. I ended up going to the watermelon festival.
That's a blast. That is a blast. I know.
I loved it. We started going to concerts and
and remembering.
Oh yeah,
and remembering the concert,
and remembering. I mean, genuine fun, man. You know what I'm saying? And we used to have our pool nights. We would go after the.
I should tell because that was the. I don't know if that was your home group or not, but that was my home group for a little while.
Oh yeah.
It was a meeting that met late at night or later at night, and afterwards we would go to a bar and play pool. and I thought that was the weirdest thing in the world, but I learned from that. I don't like playing pool. And I'm like, you know what? Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean I have to go do it too. I would come and hang out sometimes and go chain smoke cigarettes on the patio, but I don't smoke anymore now, and I don't like playing pool.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the very first time I'm sorry, I'm digressing here, but the very first time we did that, because that bar's not there anymore, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not there anymore.
It was a basement bar. It had a very dive bar feel to it, and it's one of those places where I walked into the bathroom to legitimately pee in the bathroom, and instinctively my thumb went to my pocket watch pocket, the little pocket in your jeans. Instinctively, I was like. And I was like, and I still do that every once in a while.
Wow.
It's I don't wear jeans very often, but I was grateful to not be doing that, and also grateful to come back out and here I am, my sponsors here. I got all these other people from this meeting. I'm hanging out, and it's weird. It was weird.
But notice the main thing I said was we went out.
Yeah.
I won't early in recovery just going out the bars and hanging out, what I'm saying? Like it was a fellowship of people that was sober, clean and sober, and we would go out and we enjoy ourselves and have a good time, man. They showed me what fun was. Like the only way of me.
I'm sorry, he's got hashtag no Willy Wonkas going across the bottom.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh my goodness!
But that's what it was about, man. It's just about me doing something different and practicing it. It's just like meetings. All the time, I don't want to go to a meeting, but then when I go to a meeting, I feel better that I did it. You know what I'm saying? The same time, same thing with just like trying new things. Sometimes, museums, skiing. I'm still working on skiing. I'm about to go skiing for the first time soon.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm about to do that soon.
Got your life insurance paid up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. places though, just general places. You gotta think like most of us stay in a 12 block radius and wouldn't even leave. You know what I'm saying? Like going different places, man. Like I enjoy just like traveling, man. Like I've been clean. I've been to California. We just came from New York, New Year's. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to a lot of places. Houston, Texas. I've been to a lot of places, and I never thought I would go back to Houston because that was actually one of the places where I messed up the most. On tour when I was doing some music, my last run in Houston, I had said I thought I was New York. And I said it's New York in the house, and I was in Houston, Texas, and I'm total blackout with blow around my nose, and didn't even realize that my face was on a big projector behind me. So I didn't even realize it. That was the last time I went to Houston. Humiliating. I mean, humiliating. And I thought I would never go back there. But I've been back there since I've been clean, man. It's just like I enjoyed myself, man. Like I said, man, it's just about being able to do things clean and sober, man, and having a good support system around you of people that will go with you. So I've been doing, I mean, living, man, living, not existing. You know what I'm saying? Living.
Are you rapping again?
I still do music. Music is always gonna be a part of me because I've been rapping since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna rap. Now. Am I doing it as a profession now? No, not as much. But anytime, I can always come up with, like I said, I've mastered the point where like it's always just gonna be a part of me, man. Like I hear a beat, and then next thing I know, I'm writing or either in my head, rapping something in my head. So I'm always gonna do music. I just don't do it professionally like I used to. But yeah, I think that's always gonna be a part of who I am. Anybody that knows Jamie before addiction and before recovery and addiction, I've always done music. That's a part of who I am, part of my story. And that's how I fueled my addiction for a long time. That's my way of justifying it.
Yeah.
I'm a musician. I gotta smoke weed. I gotta do something to make this craft And I realized, and the crazy when I got clean, I started doing. I made my first song, and I was like, wow, that sounds just as good as it did when I was, when I was using. So it was that thought telling me that I need to use in order to create music. So yeah, man, it's the thing about it is what I rap about then and what my life is now is two different places. So any music I do today is going to have to reflect the lifestyle that I live today. And I can tell general way what happened, what it's like, and what it's like now. But most of my music back then was just what it was like, and that's what I was doing at that time. So it's it's a process, man. I'm looking forward to really seeing if I can get back into it and make it some positive, inspirational music.
I
So
like
we'll
that.
see. We'll see.
Well, I have one more question for you,
Uh-huh.
and this I think speaks to something that we do here at McShin when we're so we have the 28-day program, our intensive program, and two of our intensive participants are sitting right here watching this. And so both of them, I think Bradley's gone through and you've done your exit plan at this point. Yeah. And I know Art will do that at some point. He'll do a transition plan if I think he's planning to stay. And so when we put that together, we look at that and there's all these things. And I think with the exit plan, we talk about fears and goals. And so with the transition plan, we talk about goals, short-term and long-term goals. And I know, we talk about a program of one day at a time, and that's really important for me. I mean, I think it's the best part of my, it really is. I think it's the best part of my recovery program is that, oh, wait, I can reset this day. I can do it even now. If I want to stop, you know what? I'm going to just start over right now. I think that's a beautiful. And I want to pay my bills next week.
Of course.
And I want to have a fulfilling life, and I want to have purpose, and I want to have, I want to set goals and make a plan. And how do we do both of these things, living a day at a time program and set goals?
Well, for me, like I said, I just like, and you hit on it really. I mean, short term goals is so much when it comes to short term goals, man. I just try to create steps. Like I said, I focus on, for me, I focus on one goal at a time, because I can get scatterbrained, try to do 6, 7 goals at one time. And I ain't saying that can't be done for some people, but me, I get too overwhelmed doing that. So I focus on one goal at a time, and I set steps for that certain goal. Am I fearful? Yeah. But what I realized is my thinking can't overcome fear. Only action does. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
My
For the
thinking,
cheap seats.
my thinking cannot overcome fear. Only action does. So if I think about it and I'm fearful, I ain't gonna overcome the fear. But when the action of me going through it, I realized that really I want nothing to even be fearful for. 80% of the stuff that I'm fearful for don't even come true. But it's my mind creating this block or barrier that tells me I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I still suffer from fear, low self-esteem, low self-worth, and I have a disease that tells me, look, man, you're worthless. You can't do this. You can't achieve your goals. You can't, you can't make it. You can't, like, it tells me all these things. So, I have to block out the way and just do, man. The spiritual program of action, just do. Do the next right thing. Do the first step that it takes for me to achieve my goal. Once I get that step done, focus on the next step. And I just go one step at a time, man. And until the goal is done, then I focus on another goal, man. So, but I do realize that, man, like, for me, it's about having faith. It's about having courage. My higher power have relieved the obsession to use from me. I haven't thought about using it in a minute. And I ain't saying I don't think about it every now and then. The thoughts still come every now and then. It's a fleeting thought. But my higher power can relieve the obsession to not drink or use from me. Why can I trust them with the rest of my life? As long as I continue to put the action in. Yeah.
That's a good place to end right there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got to talk to you today.
Yeah.
I really am,
Yeah.
man. I always enjoy, hearing you tell your story and getting to know you better and better. And I love what you do. I love watching Move Makers 100. What is it?
Move Makers 100.
Move Makers 100. Yeah. Hashtag Move Makers 100.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Hashtag No Willy Wonkas.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Man, I really appreciate you, Justin. You have anything you want to say to finish us up? I mean,
no, I never do, honestly, anymore. I try to say what I need to say during the show, and then afterwards it's kind of just like, well, no, I'm good.
I got to put a big shout out to Justin, because Justin has not only had a difficult week as well.
Oh, yeah.
But Justin continues to suit up and show up and to be here and be present and work with new people in recovery as well. I know you have coachees here, and you continue to do that and bring that. And what I like is, because you're coming up on not only are you coming up, God willing, on the Creek Don't Rise, right? A year in recovery as well.
Yes, sir.
You are coming up. When did you start here as an employee? April-ish? March?
Like end of March, early April, something like that.
Coming up on a year.
It was when
I
was still at Smith House.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah. But I mean, Justin and I have known each other since April 30th, 2018. It just happens to be the first day that I got to McShin. Justin was my first house leader.
Oh, wow.
So I've known Justin since day one.
Mm.
And so I know you've been going through a lot this past week, last couple of days.
It's only Tuesday too.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the same thing.
Hey, man, it's like I've told my sponsor like a couple times over the past couple of days, life on life's terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really glad that you do that. You bring I can say so much about Justin, but I'm really, really grateful that you continue to suit up and show up and grow, and to become more and more the Justin I know you are.
I'm grateful for you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Right. Art and Bradley over here, the Peanut Gallery. Good to see you both. I know you're not on camera, but you're in our hearts. Thank you for being here. Everybody out there, Jamie, man, again, you're the best.
Love, man.
And I love you.
Love you too. Man.
Thank you all out there. We'll be back Thursday.
Thursday.
I have no idea what the show is Thursday. Do you have an idea? Is it up there? We got plans.
No.
I know we've got a plan. This is so unprofessional of me. Well, how about this? It'll be a surprise. We got a surprise for you on Thursday. So we'll see you at 2:00 on Thursday, the 10th. And it'll be wonderful. And also pay attention. Care Talks is Friday evening. Care Talks this Friday, 6:00.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 p.m. We're going to be honoring Black History Month. So take care, everybody. Thank you for watching and/or listening. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye.